So far in this series, we've discussed how individual contracts execute. But what happens when contracts need to interact with each other? Today we'll discuss inter-contract communication, specifically using call and delegate call. Ethereum smart contracts can call other Ethereum contracts, creating complex interactions across the network. This is the foundation of composability on Ethereum. It's what allows developers to build on top of existing contracts, and even allow for upgradability. There are two main ways a contract can call another contract. First, there's call. This is the standard approach. When contract A calls contract B, the execution context switches to B. Then there's delegate call. This one's more advanced. With delegate call, B's code executes in A's context. What does that mean exactly? It means contract B's code runs, but it operates on contract A's storage. Think of it like borrowing someone's instructions but applying them to your own stuff. Contract A is saying, use your code, but work on my data. Let's see how this looks in Solidity. Here's a contract that demonstrates both types of calls. The first function uses a standard call. Notice how we just invoke the target contracts method directly. The second function uses delegate call. We have to use the low-level delegate call method and encode the function signature ourselves. Both accomplish the same task, but they behave very differently under the hood. In Yule, these become explicit opcodes. Call takes 7 arguments: gas, destination address, value, input data location, input size, output location, and output size. Delegate call takes 6 arguments. It's similar to call, but notice there's no value parameter. That's because you can't send Ether with delegate call. The EVM provides 3 opcodes for inter-contract communication. Call is the standard way to call another contract. Delegate call preserves the calling context, and static call is a read-only version that prevents any state changes. Let's visualize what happens with a call. Here's contract A with its own storage, and here's contract B with its own storage. When A calls B using call, something important happens. A new execution frame is created for B. The msg.sender value changes to A. This is important. From B's perspective, A is now the caller, and any storage operations will modify B's storage. See how the execution context has completely switched to contract B? This is the standard behavior you get when one contract calls another. Now let's see what happens with delegate call. Again, here's contract A with its storage and B, but notice we're only showing B's code, not its storage. When A calls B using delegate call, no new execution frame is created. B's code executes, but it runs in A's context. The msg.sender value stays the same. It doesn't change to A. And here's the key difference. Any storage operations will modify A's storage, not B's. Contract B is essentially lending its code to contract A. This is why delegate call is commonly used for upgradable contracts and libraries. Let's compare them side by side. Call creates a new context, it changes msg.sender to the caller, and it modifies the callee's storage. This distinction is fundamental to understanding how contracts interact on Ethereum. So remember these 3 points. Call creates a new execution context, delegate call preserves the calling context, and they have completely different effects on storage. In the next video, we'll look at how contracts return data to their callers.